The human brain. It's the most complex object in the known universe. We've mapped the cosmos, sent probes to distant planets, but the inner workings of our own minds, still a frontier full of mysteries. We're diving deep into 10 psychological facts that will completely change the way you see yourself and the world around you. So buckle up and get ready to have your mind blown. Here are 10 psychological facts that will make you see the world differently. Let's kick things off with a real head-scratcher. Did you know that a whopping 90% of your brain activity happens beneath the surface of conscious awareness? Your subconscious mind is like a silent orchestra, playing a symphony of thoughts, emotions, and memories that influence your every move. Think of it like an iceberg. The tip, that's your conscious mind, the thoughts you're aware of right now. But lurking beneath the surface is this massive, submerged chunk of ice, that's your subconscious. It's processing information, forming habits, guiding your instincts, all without you even realizing it. Even though we're not directly aware of it, the subconscious exerts a powerful influence on our decisions, our relationships, even our fears and desires. So the next time you make a snap judgment or feel an inexplicable urge, remember, it might be your subconscious pulling the strings. Ever met someone for the first time and instantly formed an opinion about them based on a single positive trait? Maybe they had a dazzling smile or a knack for telling a good story. That, my friends, is the halo effect in action. It's this quirk in our perception where we allow one positive characteristic to overshadow everything else. We assume that because someone is attractive, they must also be intelligent, trustworthy, and kind. But it can also lead to biased judgments and unfair advantages. So the next time you find yourself overly impressed by someone, take a step back and ask yourself, am I seeing the whole picture? Or am I under the influence of the halo effect? Let's talk about trends. Why is it that certain ideas, products, or behaviors suddenly become all the rage? Well, my friends, it's the bandwagon effect in action. Remember that time everyone was dumping buckets of ice water on their heads? Or when fidget spinners took over the world? Yeah, that's the bandwagon effect. It's this fascinating social phenomenon where we're more likely to adopt a belief or behavior if we see others doing it. We see a crowd moving in a certain direction, and we instinctively want to join in, even if we don't fully understand why. Now, the bandwagon effect isn't always irrational. Sometimes it's a sign of social proof, but it can also lead to herd mentality and irrational decision-making. So the next time you find yourself jumping on the bandwagon, ask yourself, am I following the crowd, or am I making a conscious choice? Chapter 4. The Spotlight Effect. Ever had that feeling that everyone's watching you, judging your every move, like you're walking through life under a giant spotlight? Well, my friends, you're not alone. That's the spotlight effect, and it's a lot more common than you might think. It's this sneaky little bias where we overestimate how much attention other people are paying to us. So the next time you find yourself feeling self-conscious, remember the spotlight isn't as bright as you think it is. Chapter 5. Cognitive Dissonance. Ever felt that uncomfortable tension when your actions don't align with your beliefs? That, my friends, is cognitive dissonance. And it's a powerful force in our lives. It's this mental discomfort we experience when we hold two conflicting beliefs or when our behavior contradicts our values. Think about it, you know smoking is bad for you, yet you continue to smoke. That inconsistency creates cognitive dissonance. Now, here's the thing about cognitive dissonance. Our brains don't like it. It creates this mental tension that we're driven to resolve. We can either change our behavior to align with our beliefs, or we can change our beliefs to justify our actions. Cognitive dissonance can be a powerful motivator for change, but it can also lead to self-justification and denial. Chapter 6. The Mere Exposure Effect. Ever wondered why certain songs get stuck in your head or why you gravitate towards familiar brands? Well, my friends, it's the mere exposure effect at work. It's this psychological phenomenon where we develop a preference for things merely because we're repeatedly exposed to them. Think about it. You hear a song on the radio, you don't think much of it, but then it plays again and again and again. Pretty soon, you find yourself humming along, maybe even downloading it. The mere exposure effect applies to people too. The more time we spend with someone, the more familiar they become, and the more likely we are to develop positive feelings towards them. The mere exposure effect is a powerful force in shaping our preferences and relationships. It's why advertisers bombard us with the same commercials over and over again, and why we're drawn to people who are similar to us. Chapter 7, the placebo effect. Now, for a truly mind-bending phenomenon, the placebo effect. This is where things get really weird. It's the idea that our beliefs, our expectations, can actually have a tangible impact on our physical well-being. Think about it. You're given a sugar pill, but you're told it's a powerful painkiller. Amazingly, your pain starts to subside, even though there's no active ingredient in the pill. The placebo effect has been observed in a wide range of conditions, from depression and anxiety to Parkinson's disease and even cancer. Now, I'm not saying that the placebo effect is a cure-all, but it highlights the extraordinary power of the mind-body connection. It shows that our thoughts, our expectations, can have a profound impact on our physical reality. Now let's talk about a darker side of human nature, the bystander effect. It's this disturbing phenomenon where we're less likely to help someone in need when other people are present. Think about it. You're walking down a crowded street and you see someone lying on the ground, clearly in distress. You might feel a surge of empathy, but then you look around and see that no one else seems too concerned. So you hesitate, you tell yourself someone else will call for help, and you keep walking. We experience diffusion of responsibility, thinking someone else will take action. The bystander effect is a sobering reminder that our actions are not always driven by our morals. It highlights the power of social influence and the importance of individual responsibility. Ever met someone who's completely incompetent yet utterly convinced of their own brilliance? That, my friends, is the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. It's this cognitive bias where people with low ability in a particular area tend to overestimate their own competence. Think about it. You've got someone who's just learned the basics of a skill, yet they're already giving advice like they're an expert. They lack the self-awareness to recognize their own limitations. Highly skilled individuals often underestimate their own abilities. The Dunning-Kruger effect is a fascinating quirk of human psychology. And finally, let's talk about the Zeigarnik effect. Ever noticed how you can remember unfinished tasks with remarkable clarity, while completed ones fade into the background? That's the Zeigarnik effect. It's this psychological phenomenon where our brains are wired to remember incomplete tasks more easily than completed ones. Think about it. You're more likely to remember the book you started but never finished than the one you devoured in a single sitting. This tension lingers until the task is complete, serving as a constant reminder to get it done. The Zeigarnik effect can be a powerful tool for productivity. By breaking down large tasks into smaller, more manageable chunks, we create a series of mini cliffhangers for our brains, keeping us motivated and engaged. So there you have it, 10 mind-blowing psychological facts that reveal the hidden forces shaping our thoughts, feelings and behaviors. From the depths of our subconscious to the subtle influences of our social world, we've explored the fascinating quirks that make us human. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed this journey into the mind, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future explorations. Thanks for joining me on this adventure. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep those brain cells firing.